That's all I have to say. I freaking knew it. I knew it. I knew it, because you guys have never been good at war. You guys are good at setting fires, giving people disease. But as far as war, no. But I will say, you guys definitely did the big coup. You guys did a big coup. You guys were kind of slick with this one. But then I started wondering, why would Michael King do this? Why would Michael King be meeting with Mustache Man? And so many other melanated people were meeting with Mustache Man, mainly before 1940. And so that got me to thinking, and you know what? People had ever been close to Mustache Man. He wouldn't even let people know who he was. So it's really interesting. And, all that footage that you guys saw of, Mustache Man, that was all fake. Like, that introduced the TV and the film. I knew it. That's all I have to say. I freaking knew it. I knew it. I knew it, because you guys have never been good at war. You guys are good at setting fires, giving people disease. But as far as war, no. But I will say, you guys definitely did the big coup. You guys did a big coup. You guys were kind of slick with this one. But then I started wondering, why would Michael King do this? Why would Michael King be meeting with Mustache Man? And so many other melanated people were meeting with Mustache Man, mainly before 1940. And so that got me to thinking, and you know what?
The very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it.
The time has come. Execute.
What the hell going on?
66.
Audio just started glitching. Mic check. All right, Mike. The mic good. The mic is good. What's up? What's up? You are back with another one. You are now live with King MattTheGod. We back on our Tartaria shit. I don't know. I kept seeing videos earlier today. I'm like, gotta do a Tartarian, John. And as you start seeing my progression in between part 1, 2, and 3, I'm starting to go into deeper down the rabbit hole. And it seems weird that a lot of these eras and times around the late 1800s into the early 1900s, even a little bit into the 1700s, it's like all tying into the same everything that happened. I do a video on the Clone Wars and the Cabbage Patch Babies, and how theory and research points that it was some cloning going on and repopulation of certain people into America and other nations. Right around the time that Tartaria seems like people just vanished, right? It just looks weird. Like, we watch these Tartaria videos. Hopefully some of them not AI and got us looking crazy, but you can tell AI ones. And it's just like, bro, y'all didn't build that. Like, I'm not even trying to be like racist and stuff. Like, y'all didn't build that. Because it's just the way the vibe everyone moved. You can tell they just got there. They wasn't there more than a couple years. Like, you can just tell, like, they're probably like, it's like it's like you fly me out to another planet in the advanced civilization where they got buildings that's way better than what we used to building and stuff. And then you're going to be like, this is a whole new world. Like, it's a brand new world. Like, you just like, so a lot of times we see these buildings and these structures, and like, bro, those structures are super advanced, even for our time, that we probably can't even replicate, duplicate it. Look at all our new buildings. None of our new buildings replicates these precise, perfect stone carvings and giant pillars look like giants put them together. Like, it's just we got cranes and construction vehicles, but come on now, like some of them Jones look like laser precision, one whole tight piece, like like they carved a one of those archaic churches out of just straight one big block of stone. Like that's just the way these buildings look, and like it is what it is. Like I know sometimes some because the direction of my research is going that was us. It just wasn't no like boom, like like because that's like for say it's weird that like I'm trying not to make it racial, but it's weird that like other races would be into Tartaria, but if you start pointing out some certain time eras, like that was it was basically like when the Blackamoors was ruling east Western Europe. Some say even farther up in Russia and Eastern Europe, and just keeping it 100. Like it's not my fault that the research is pointing at all these events land in the same time. Like the exile of the Jacobites and the Blackamoors, like around the same time, like from around that colonial period, around 1776 on up to the late 1800s. A lot of shit happened in these years. Like my theory is they say where do all the people go of all these buildings and cities that just seem like a whole bunch of immigrants just moved into like already built cities? Where did the people go? My theory is you see a lot of times in these old these eras around that time that they had a lot of those blimps. My theory is they was bombing the shit out of different areas before they had just invade, but they just walked in there looking all they walk in there with like Gucci bags and stuff looking all prestigious. They don't look like an invasion, but it's an invasion. Like if you chase everybody away, if motherfuckers abandon a house because they know a group, of army of people is coming and they ruthless. You getting hung up, you getting strung up and hung up. Like they gonna get out of there. They gonna abandon their house. Shit, we gotta abandon our fucking house. We gotta get out. We gotta run into the woods, the wilderness, hide. And then motherfuckers just came in with Gucci bags, tailored suits, like walking around like everything normal. Like y'all pieces of shit. But it seems like they used them blimps. It seemed like a lot of those blimps was used to bomb. Like, and on that video I just played, it seems like they was talking about what I believe also that Nazi Germany and the SS and the Mustache Man. It's crazy how we all hear Mustache Man and we know who we talking about. It seemed like they had a little bit of what she was saying. They had the old Tartarian technology. That's why they was able to whoop so many united countries under the Jewish banking system. The ones that's fucked up. The bankers made all the other countries turn on Germany. That's fucked up. But they had some of that old tech from Tartaria, and that's why they lasted long. That's why a lot of those wars, they were saying, yo, the Germans came with some planes that was a little better than ours, a little advanced ours, faster than ours. They some say they had little mini UFOs and shit like that. But that's another story. But so let's get back into it. She's basically describing what I believe also that like Mustache Man might have been a little bit half melanated or something. Something was going on. Like, what do they call the Rhineland bastards? Don't get me started. I said there's plenty of other videos, but so let's get back and I'm just touch on things she said. She say it like, I mean, I'm not even gonna make this about me. It ain't about me. All right, let's go.
I knew it. That's all I have to say. I freaking knew it. I knew it. I knew it because you guys have never been good at war. You guys are good at setting fires.
I mean, that's a little bit of my theory that like it wasn't like no gigantic big old war when it was wiping out these areas and clearing them out. I think it was just more like motherfuckers, like I said, they may have came with them blimps. Motherfuckers, they wasn't concentrating on aerial warfare. They see them blimps, they dropping bombs. They like drop a couple. Oh, let's get out of here. For they drop a whole bunch of more bombs. Like, let's get out of here. Like, so, and I believe also it was more a little bit the education system. which is tied into Hollywood. If you can write history, history can be whatever you want it to be. So Hollywood came in and just perpetuated false history, and everyone just ate it up because sometimes you're gonna if they was making false history and movies and education about my race winning and doing shit and painting me out to be a good guy, I might be a piece of shit later, like and be like, that's what happened. Like y'all trying to like because you won. The history paints you as you won nobly, and the history showed it was kind of horrific. A lot of these genocidal sweep, clean sweep, like a poker game. All right, so I think a lot of it was is basically it was propaganda too. They use the same propaganda over in uh Mustache Man's regime. Like they just knew how to use propaganda in movies and posters and commercials to like turn you against the group or be for your cause. Like, and history is whatever you write it. If you can put out the movies first saying, oh, this would happen, and be all actors. Like all those Indian movies, they was all actors. Like they wasn't real Indians. That ain't the real, that wasn't the real them. Like that's here and there. Like, all right. So let's keep going.
Keeping people disease. But as far as war, no. But I will.
How's a lot of research is showing that the swastika belong to like Ethiopian, Nubian nations all over, like ancient Japanese and Asian. What they would say is Shem. A lot of people think Shem went in there first, and that was more the darker color. Some believe it's Shem. Some people think Ham went into like Asia. That's where you get. That's why it's coming up all this. Like, damn, there were black Asians and stuff a lot. Like, but here nor there, because I don't want to anger one side. They're gonna be like, oh God, you guys are blackwashing everything. Blah 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 blah.
Say, you guys definitely did a big coup. You guys did a big coup. You guys, you guys were.
I want to stop it here because I was reading some of it. I kept pausing and reading it. I don't know if I can. I might need glasses. I mean, let's make this bigger. I think, right? This shit did not get bigger. It got smaller. This shit did not get bigger. I guess, right? All right, say I'm gonna read as far as I can read. The Encyclopedia Britannica has this to say on the subject. There was something inevitable tendency for them, the Roman so-called Jew merchant, to something in commerce for which their acumen and ubiquity gave them special qualifications. And the dark ages of the commerce of Western Europe was largely their hands, in particular the slave trade. It's fucked up. I could have just said merchant Jew and slave trade, and we'd have got the point. All right, the dark ages. They remember that. It's weird that it's like dark age. What do they mean? Dark skin? What does that even mean? Like, but you know they're gonna say the plague and different things like that. But let's go. Say Roman Jew. What is it? Why I thought they was more from the East Europe more than like I guess they was that far in already. Roman Jew control of trade and commerce grew tighter and tighter. It spread far and wide until every European country's economy was in their hands. The fact that the Roman Jew made a special effort to issue and control currency supports the assessment that the money lenders had adopted the slogan, let us something and control the money of a nation, and we cannot of a nation, and we care not who makes its laws. So basically, we control the money. We don't care who makes the laws. We control the money. Long before Amschel Mayer Bayer, 1743, 1812 BCE, used the slogan to explain to his co-conspirators the reason of Roman Jew money lenders had obtained control of the Bank of England, 1694. So I need to be writing all these dates down because I always get in debates and I'll be like, damn, I can't remember the year to hit them with the argument really official, knowing every date and timeline when everything happened. All right, so they're saying had obtained control of the Bank of England around 1694. That's past 1492, and that's closer to where around when they got exiled, the Blackamoors and the Jacobites. They got started getting exiled to West Africa, and then they jumped across to America, and then they got chased over there too. They got they went once they got there, they got the motherfuckers, the Crusaders. I think a lot of this happened during the Crusades too. Like it's all this stuff lands in these eras. Like the new Christian Crusaders was just they had niggas on the run. Like niggas abandoned the whole Europe country. We out. All right, but like the barons or baroness. I don't want to go too much into the barons, but that was deep. The barons, meaning Dunce or blockhead, who were the leaders of so-called Arianism. Arian, which actually means an honorable bay of the soul. Bay of the soul. That sounds more like a motherfucker, as they gonna say in here. Of the soil, bay of the soil. Determined they would break the Roman Jew control of trade. So the barons was against it. Barons of who? Leaders of so-called Arianism. But remember that wasn't that like kind of like who a mustache man and them was claiming like they that the supreme Aryan race and stuff. Determined they will break the Roman Jew control of trade, commerce, and money in Europe. It was with this purpose in mind that in 1093 or 1095 CE or something, they obtained the support of certain Christian rulers to start the cross wars or crusades. So the crusades was trying to stop the bankers. Let's keep that in mind too. They obtained the support of certain Christian rulers to start the cross wars or crusades between 1095 to 1271 CE. 8 cross wars were organized officially. Were organized. Officially, the Crusades were military expeditions undertaken to ensure the safety of pilgrims who wished to visit the Holy Scepter and set up Christian rule in Moorish Palestine. So basically, but that sound bad. You basically started these wars so pilgrims can go to another country and basically take over there. Like what? We started a war so we can go in this land and start taking it over. Like basically, that's what all wars are, right? But the pilgrims who wished to visit the Holy Scepter and set up Christian rule in Moorish Palestine. These wars were also fomented for the purpose of dividing the population of Europe into 2 camps. One camp for pro-Roman Jew and the other anti. All right. The net result was that in 1271, Palestine still remained in the hands of the Moors, also the countries of Christendom, and had spent millions in money and treasure to finance the cross wars. The cross wars. So it seemed like they keep saying cross wars, but it's 2 different sides. But the way they saying it, like it was only whoever, like, because it seemed like they trying to. But they said the Bay of the Soil. That sounds Moorish. Of supposedly the barons, and they got together with Christian rulers and invaded Palestine. But then it says, well, they say it still remained in the hands of the Moors, although the countries of Christendom had spent millions in money and treasure to finance the cross wars and sacrifice millions of lives fighting those wars. Strange to relate, the Roman Jew money lenders grew richer and more powerful than ever. So that's what I said. It seemed like, or interesting. It seemed like it sounded like so they basically invaded Palestine, was trying to run pilgrims, like because the Christendom and or the Roman Jews start what? Well, all right, basically, they gathered together with the Christian, the Moors kind of teamed up with the Christian peoples, and then they oh shit. They got together with the Christians, and they basically get the hell off of the full screen. I can't get it off full screen to save my life. Let go of full screen. Like, it won't let go.
I knew it. That's all I have to say.
Exit full screen, please.
I
I feel like I'll just talk to AI or something like Jarvis, exit
freaking
full
knew.
screen. Please. Oh, there you go. I was trying to get my camera back up. It does that. About to turn some light back on. Some light. I'm still seeing pretty bright. Hold up, one moment. But yeah, just think about what I'm presenting here. Like it's just so much confusion in it, but it's like you got to keep on. All right. Let's continue. I done lost my place in the video, but fuck, let's rock on.
Knew it. I knew it. I knew it because you guys have never been good at war. You guys are good at setting fires, giving people disease. But as far as war, no. But I will say, you guys definitely did a big coup. You guys did a big coup. You guys are kind of slick with this one.
Is this what I was just reading? Yep. All right, let's get back to full screen. How we do that?
Elders are for counsel.
I knew it. That's all I have.
How do you get the full screen again? Yo, I'm struggling on Facebook. What's going on here? How you do that?
I knew it.
Jarvis, full screen, please. Jarvis. Like, Jarvis. I need an AI helper. All right, I know what I did. This is how I got stuck in full screen last time. I don't know how the hell I don't even remember how I got out of there.
That's all I have to say. I freaking knew it. I knew it. I knew it because you guys have never been good at war. You guys are good at setting fires, giving people disease. But as far as war, no. But I will say, you guys definitely did a big coup. You guys did a big coup.
And word again, swarthy. It says Saxon for is it Saxon? It's Saxon Dutch word. Black, darkly brown, tawny. Color of a chestnut.
You guys, you guys are kind of slick with this.
All right, we back. All right, so basically it seemed like the barons, or I don't know if they were Moors, and it's strange that they saying Aryanism because you usually think Aryanism is pale, right? Pale skin, Caucasian, right? But bay of the soil. Once you start talking that bay and that Moor shit, you start getting into that black Moorish talk going on. All right, so they tag team with like the Christian nations that was on it was seeming like it was more religious groups more in power, and they start going against the bankers, the Roman Jew money lenders, and then as they spend all that money trying to like protect Palestine, they talking like Palestine became like they last stand. And the Roman Jew lenders, they kept getting richer and more powerful than ever. This is one phase of the Crusades. I'm getting notifications. Get out of here. This is one of the phases of the Crusades in which must not be overlooked when the causes are being studied in relation to the efforts they produced in earlier years. Or earlier? I don't know.
This one.
So, but it's just like I said, like I look at the Crusades, it was kind of like wasn't good, but it seems like was the Crusades against the Roman bank lenders? Like I'm confused. Like I said, it's so much going on.
You guys are kind of slick with this one, but then I started.
All right, so look at this. Since Mustache Man was a blackamoor, huh? But that's what I said. Like, I was on to some research. Like, I don't know, man. Something. He might have been mixed. He might have been half black, half white. Something going on. Like, or like this woman is suggesting on her post that a lot of those images you see of Mustache Man are basically fakes and basically Hollywood production. But I don't know, maybe because remember I said this regime at the time was almost experts of propaganda, making movies and like you know what I mean, propaganda movies. They go in that old movie theater, maybe I don't know if it's black and white or color yet, and they watch a propaganda movie for nationalist type movie and rile up, and we got to get rid of the and foreigners or whoever, and that's what they were just masters of it. So maybe because those same people, I don't think they died off. I think they just migrated to America, and that's when Hollywood was started. Like, you know what I'm saying, but maybe these are all Hollywood productions because they sure do look similar to a lot of those old black and white movies, maybe war movies. You would see the general coming back into town and thousands of people are out there cheering and you're riding down the street in your convoy. Like, could that been a Hollywood production? But a lot of shit still keep coming back to that name, Kubrick, Stanley Kubrick, the fake space. like like have we been like duped this whole time with like fake history through movies? If we see a movie we believe is that's what happened. They made a movie about it, so that's what really happened. Like, all right, so check this out. She says Mustache Man was a blackamoor. The Aryan were also Moors. Like, huh? But I've heard stories of that. Like, I don't want to go too in. I don't want to upset too many non-black races. Like, the truth is the truth. I mean, the closer we get to the truth, to me, it's faster we can unite. That's why I'm stuck on finding out what happened in this era. All right, Bey is Turkish, huh? For the last year or two, I've been preaching that Caucasians come from Turkey, come from Ukraine, come from Russia. Like, that's where they migrated after they kind of interbred with Neanderthal. They lost their melanin, different things, or the eugenics and grafting. They can't stand the sun so much, and they started more. They became hybrids that be able to and then they was getting exiled a little bit too. History was saying that they was acting unruly supposedly, and they was getting chased and locked into the mountains of the Caucasus area, like the Caucasus area. But I've been preaching like, bro, y'all come from Turkey, y'all come from Ukraine, like, because that's what the DNA and the haplogroups the SL genes that you acquire through some of this interbreeding with different species, you can track those. You can track the migration. So all those migrations went to those areas, and if you do your research, there's a lot of underground cities in Turkey. A lot of underground cave cities, all in those walls and mountains, like. But anyway, so I've been always on Turkish. It made me believe like it's like as a motherfucker, a civilization can establish in an area, they don't know that it's an underground city like under them or something. And when the motherfuckers come out, you're gonna be like, oh shit. And they come out with fucking caveman clubs. Nah, man. But you know, like they come out like beasts, like clobbering motherfuckers. Like you thought like, oh shit, I thought that was just a cave down by the fucking cliff that like no one really went in. Like we didn't know it was a fucking doorway to a whole fucking army. It's a whole fucking troglodyte army down there. So that's what like huh? All right, so Bey is Turkish and it means ruler or governor land. Bey also means bee, queen bee. Beyonce. It made me think like, the motherfuckers be playing in our face. Jay and them be knowing. All right, Queen Bee. The Moors, Turks, were high priests of Anu. I'm starting to rock with Anu. Like maybe he was the motherfucker we need to be rocking with. You know, Anu father, Inky and Lil. And I kind of feel like we should rock with Inky more. And Lil is kind of little, he's a little harsh. It's almost like political parties. And Lil is Republican, not for the bullshit, not for the weird gender bender shit or the mental illnesses out there. Democrats are more compassionate. Inky was more like, all right, I'm not going to wipe out this whole town because some of y'all are not like, that's weird, right? Inky and Lil is like Democrats and Republicans, like, but as you know, supposedly Enlil was the one that they speak about as God in the Bible that struck that Sodom and Gomorrah, blew that shit up, blew that shit up. Like, get out of here. All right, so we're high priests of Anu, aka the Magi. Boy, every word is like I can go deep into what's going on. Who were people of the sea or people of the waters, sailors, merchants, pirates, mariner, marines, mermaid, Mormon. I keep telling y'all, everyone kind of that's woke with godly motherfuckers like me. We know about the Pirates of the Caribbean was about black pirates, blackamoors that was in that area, robbing motherfuckers, uh, immigrant. If you come across them the Atlantic Sea with like without their permission, they was right there robbing motherfuckers. Like, yeah, I mean, Captain Jack Sparrow and shit. Like, Captain Jack Black. Damn it. I can't say a word without it be like, All right. The Magi, who were people of the sea or people of the water, sailors, merchants, and pirates, mariner, marines. Damn. Mermaid, Mormon, mooring a boat, Moors, land by the waters, and Marini are all terms dealing with the Moors of sea people. Turks, Moors, Phoenician, Gaul, Gullah Geechee, like damn, like bars. Like if you knew, you know. If you know, you know. Persians, Sumerians, Cushite, Canaanites, Vikings, and etc. were all people of the sea and hence Moors, which is a tricky term because it has many spelling variations. The term bay is just code for bays. All right, let's keep going. But that's why I stopped and read this like hours ago, and I'm just like, bro.
Wondering, why would Michael King do?
Oh, I missed that. I should have paused it because she's everything that I'm reading. Like I gotta read it, like because she's not reading it out. I need to go back.
This. Why would Michael King be meeting with Mustache Man and so many other melanated people were meeting with Mustache Man, mainly before 1940, and so that got me thinking.
On there. I'm reading all.
And you know what? People had ever been close to Mustache Man. He wouldn't even let people know who he was. So it's really interesting. And, all that footage that you guys saw of, Mustache Man, that was all fake. Like, that introduced the TV and the film. I knew it. That's all I have to say. I freaking knew it.
It makes you think if this is all true. Damn, is Kanye on this something? Yo, I feel like I'm 50 years ahead of the population on just stumbling across like just reality, just breaking the matrix. Like, oh shit. Like, and a lot of times when I start seeing people post stuff like this, and I'll be like happy, like, wow, like people are catching up. Like people like it almost confirms all your research because all this stuff she's talking about, I've been researched, but it's just like when you hear someone else say it, you be like, wow, like I wasn't tripping when I was falling down the rabbit hole. Like I wasn't alone. Like millions is falling down the rabbit hole. Sorry. It's but my point is that I feel like if I'm 50 years ahead of society on discovering shit, on being woke, Kanye is like 100 years ahead of me. Like, cause goddamn, like Kanye's be next level. Everything he's been saying, everything.
I knew it. I knew it because you guys have never been good at war. You guys are good at setting fires, giving people disease. But as far as war, no. But I will say, you guys definitely did the big coup. You guys did a big coup. You guys are kind of slick with this one. But then I started wondering, why would Martin...
All right. I mean, some hot ass chips. These motherfuckers on fire. Damn. Cook me like. I know I'm probably only get like 10 views on this. But I swear, sometimes the ones that get 10 views be the ones with the most gems, man. Sometimes I don't like just doing videos that's just like ones that's viral. I can look on Twitter right now and find the most viral story and do a video and get 1,000 views like that, like thousands. I just get tired of being a slave to like the viral bullshit. Sometimes you gotta get these gems, these real shit, this real shit. All right, so let's go. People miss the obvious since Mustache Man clearly didn't want imposters. Juicy. That's what Crumb TV be saying. He called them juicies. Because I don't know how many times I can say this word before YouTube strike me down. All right. Didn't want Jewish, basically Slavs, which a lot of us are coming to. We're like, damn, the word slave derived from Slavs and were they the indentured servants and stuff? Like, all right. Slav slaves. So Mustache Mans didn't want the Slavs mixing with the royal Jewish Jew-Moorish bloodlines. Hence the reason for the ethnic cleansing of the fake white Jews. Why was Hitler's technology so advanced compared to the rest of the world? Because he was the last of the Tartarian stronghold. Like, I've been like, yo. But as a lot of us thought before, like we thought like maybe aliens or something contacted him and gave him designs and secret weapons and shit like that, which is probably the same thing. Like, they are descendants of ancient Anunnaki and stuff. So of course they know the old science, the Tesla towers and the free energy and all this. Of course they know all this stuff. Hence the reason for the ethnic cleansing of the fake Jews. Why was Hitler's technology so advanced compared to the rest of the world? Because he was the last of the Tartarian stronghold. Why did he use the swastika, which is an Ethiopian Indian spiritual symbol for German empire? Because he is an Ethiopian stock by DNA, which I say he probably was. His parents probably was mixing and getting. He was a little lighter skin. Probably was more light skin. And like I said, those movies and images we see him might have been movies. That's fucked up if we that gullible. All right. Because he is an Ethiopian stock by DNA, the swastika is a symbol of advanced Tartarian technology by means of harnessing the fish vortex, or spiral of life that the swastika generates when it rotates or spins clockwise. It made me think, like, damn, man, I might need to get a swastika and like spin it around and see if fuck a portal open. Like, oh shit, like oops. All right, so why did Mustache Man have a confederation of black Muslims and Jews in his army? Is this true? I'm about to look that up. If he was so racist. Because Muslims and Jews are Moors. I'm about to start talking Arabic. Because Muslims and Druze are Moors, and that's how our Moors ruled as a confederation. Like the accent about to come out, like ruled as a confederate. All right.
Why would Michael King do this?
All right, what this one say? More evidence of Moors with blonde hair and blue eyes can be seen in the Moors versus Wildman tapestry. Further evidence of this phenomenon can be seen with the early Anglo-Saxon kings of England, Saint Edmund King and the Anglo-Saxons, and Thorsten, king of the Anglo-Saxons, are perfect examples of blackamoors with blonde hair and blue eyes. Wow. The Malaysians are another example of blackamoors with blonde hair, since blonde hair is a common trait amongst the swarthy Malaysian peoples. I believe that the Malaysians are remnants of an extinct race of blackamoors with fair hair, blonde hair, that ruled Europe. I gotta look that up. I exit out of this. I don't want to mess this place. I want to look up blonde hair, blue eyed Malaysians and see if any dark skinned ones come up. All right. Anyway, uh, people missed the obvious since Mustache Man clearly didn't want imposter Slavs mixing with the royal Jew Moorish bloodlines. Hence the reason for the ethnic cleansing of the fake. Did we read this already? But the shit fucked me up was the Moors versus Wildman tapestry, which those pictures a lot of y'all probably see if y'all know what I'm talking about. Pictures and paintings of like castles being stormed by like hairy wild men, big footish type looking motherfuckers, like, and you see like the black king and queen in the castle, and you see like some black archers, like, like they salty as shit because they about to be overran, like they fucked up, like. I mean, so it's interesting that those pictures and paintings even exist. Like, all right,
Why would Michael King be meeting with?
all right. See, Mm-mm-mm-mm. Da-da-da-da. Well, Mustache Man, referring to an extinct race of Moors that ruled Europe, had blonde hair and blue eyes. One of these post images of Queen Ellen Moore. Damn, the way that shit just landed. Queen Ellen Moore. She was from Scotland, and she was the Queen of France. She was the Merovingian lineage. I mean, you hear that a lot. Notice the golden cross of Lorraine that she is holding, which is a symbol of France and free energy. So that cross, they say that cross with the circle around it on top of them churches, like the free energy antennas and stuff. All right. More evidence of Moors with blonde hair and blue eyes can be seen. This is what I just read. They going backwards with the with the post.
Meeting with Mustache Man.
It says, I'm gonna keep reading because this gems and all this stuff hidden. Mustache Man rarely made public appearances. So it's just saying like no one really knew what he looked like, maybe. All of the so-called film footage of the Caucasian decoy known as Mustache Man is just fake film footage from Hollywood newsreels. Was Hollywood established before World War II? These are questions we need to already write down. Like, I'm gonna look that up. Was Hollywood already established? What year was World War II, and what year did Hollywood was established in America? Like, that's deep, bro. All right. From Hollywood newsreels, a decoy is a person used to impersonate somebody else to draw attention away from the real person. Deception is the whole purpose of utilizing a decoy. A newsreel was a form of short documentary film containing news stories and items of typical topical interest, which was prevalent between the 1910s and the mid 1970s, right around World War II. Newsreels were a source of history, current affairs, information, and entertainment for millions of moviegoers. Motion pictures and television producers often turned to reenact groups since they benefited financially from them. Motion picture and television producers often turn to reenactment groups since they benefit financially from them. Like, yeah, let's paint the story like this because it's going to benefit us. Okay, all of those photos of the Caucasian decoy of Mustache Man are photo ops and film stills from some same reels, which is nothing but a lot of handshaking, walking from a car into a building, walking from a building into a car. I mean, he do got some speeches, right? He's talking, but that could all be straight studio, technically. That's what's crazy about it.
And so many other melanated people were meeting with.
All right, what this one say? If you ever research the subject on censorship in Nazi Germany, you'll discover that there were absolutely no cameras or film crews following Mustache Man around Nazi Germany, filming every important event in his life. Of his life or making a documentary. The thought of that is completely insane. since Mustache Man rarely made public appearances. All of the so-called film footage of the Caucasian decoy known as Mustache Man is just fake film footage from Hollywood newsreels. A decoy is a person used to impersonate somebody else to draw attention away from the real person. Deception is the whole purpose of utilizing a decoy. Remember I said in previous videos, if anybody know, if you know, you know, I said like the reason why those concentration camps was already there and ready for the people of the convert people that they was trying to wipe out, because they first used those chambers and execution chambers for the indigenous people of Germany that was there originally before migration of other the Anglo-Saxons and different things. All right, but so it's like you said, the distraction, like, yeah, this something, yo, the bait and switch is crazy, bro. And then because my theory is Holocaust never ended, it just migrated. That basically the same people we thought was the SS, the bad guys, are the same people as the people they say that they was trying to wipe out. And they basically just migrated to Palestine. That's interesting. Like this, so this whole time they've been trying to get to Palestine. Like they have a thirst. They have a real thirst, an obsession for Palestine, bro. What is there? Is this some kind of magical caves, or is that Jerusalem? Jerusalem is in Israel, right? All right, but which is Palestine, and some people would say it's Palestine. But that's interesting, right? So after all this, they went to where the barons, remember before they ran to Palestine and basically was fighting the banker lenders there. So it was almost like they got their get back. They did a whole rouge and then said, oh, we need to establish a Zionist state or something. And they basically just moved. like they didn't, because you know they say a lot of the motherfuckers from that regime, all the sciences and stuff, they just moved to America. They didn't execute any of these people. Like they just moved to America and just moved into a new lab. Like it's fucked up. You know what I mean? Or y'all kind of get what I'm saying? Like the rouge is crazy. Like the bait and switch is wow. Like all just so they can get in Palestine. Like, bro. Because what happened is the Rothschilds and them, or wherever the royal families was, they're Jewish. So they basically just say, "Oh no, we're gonna take Palestine and we're gonna give it to the Holocaust survivors, so they can have a state." And I mean, not saying it never happened, but something going on. Like something is fishy, something fishy, and they created a state for them in Palestine, which they was always trying to get in. It's almost like, "Oh, you was making your last stand in Palestine against us. Well, we're gonna spin the block." And we're gonna just bully and say we taking this over, and we're gonna move these Holocaust victims, refugees here without your say so. Like it's fucked up. Like that's fucked up. Or y'all kind of get what I'm saying? Like, am I wrong here? Like, am I not getting something here? Like, all right, but so they was trying to get at Palestine. That was all this whole time. All right. All right, I guess let's go to some more videos. But y'all kind of get what I'm saying? That's why I say like something's going on. I feel like the indigenous people got wiped out. They assumed their identity. I mean, impersonated them. Maybe make a couple short documentaries in Hollywood studios, a couple scenes to make it look like, the mustache man coming into town, the city is going crazy. Like that could technically be a fucking film. Like technically could have been a whole production. Like, bro, if we've been getting duped this crazy, bro. All right, we need to look up when Hollywood. Obviously, Hollywood was because I think at the same time Germany and them had movies and movie theaters. The whole rest of the world did too, especially Hollywood. So obviously, that's crazy. That's wild. Like that's why, like this one lady saying here, like it probably wasn't no big old war where they one side kicked the other side of ass. They just got that propaganda game, like that just bait and switch. Like it was a 3-card Molly, like shoot, shoot, shoot. You picked the wrong one. You didn't bet your money with that 3-card Molly. Don't play that shit out there because you're gonna lose. The game is rigged. Wow, the game is rigged. All right, let's keep going.
Mustache man, mainly before 1940. And so that got me to thinking, and you know
Oh, I
what?
should be
People haven't
stopping this.
even.
Cause they talking about all because I'm seeing words like Walt Disney. Man, like bro, we've been duped, bro. I'm gonna keep 100. As much as these videos is maybe confirming that maybe what, like I'm saying, maybe Tartaria was the Black Empire before, but you know what I mean? But bro, we in this together. Like we all been duped. We've been duped. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I'm like, mm-mm. You know the Shannon Sharp meme? Like this is some bullshit. Like, or I'm eating them hot chips again. All right, let me wrap this up. The white European that is shown to the world as Mustache Man was played by Walt Disney. Whoa, no. Mm-mm. I'm about to pick up a picture of Walt Disney. Mm-mm. I need to go. This shit blowing my shit right now. All right, this blowing my shit. He was played by Walt Disney and is a decoy person. Something is an image comparison between Mustache Man and Disney, and they look almost identical. Wow, I'm about to exit out of this full screen. I hope I don't miss this spot, but let's read it first. But ain't no way. Ain't no way, boy. Like, ain't no way. All right. This got me kind of taken back. Like, all right, focus. This shattered my matrix just now. Like, whoa, shit. Like, all right. Would suggest that Hitler, my bad, and Disney, I didn't mean to say his name. That felt offensive. All right. And Disney were the same person. I found this video on YouTube about Mustache Man and Disney, and then it's called The Ugly Truth About Disney. I got to look that up. According to the said video, Walt Disney also worked with Nazi scientist Wernher von Braun. I'm about to burp, but it ain't come out. All right, the name Wernher von Braun is well known for two primary reasons: his groundbreaking work on rocketry that allegedly landed on the moon, and his work at concentration camp. Oops, as a Nazi under Mustache Man. Damn. Like I said, the motherfuckers didn't get caught, court-martialed, executed in prison. They just take a plane over to America, over to wherever they went. Like, yeah, whatever. However, he's also known for a third reason: his work with Walt Disney himself. Now, how did a former Nazi rocket scientist, like this is crazy, bro? Or we gotta look up the ugly truth about Disney.
Had ever been close?
Bro, every slide that I'm pausing on is just that work, bro. I need to exit out of this, but I don't want to fuck it up. All right, it's cool. We cool. All right, let's look up. The ugly truth about Disney. Now we're gonna do let's do damn, I don't even want to put this in the Google search. They probably like this motherfucker. He's poking his nose. please don't rocket strike me. Like I'm just a researcher searching for the truth. Hitler Disney comparison. Now, if it's gonna pop up same person, I'm gonna be pissed. They're already showing it. I ain't even look. I'm trying to fix the spelling. I'm gonna be pissed, bro. And I should have left that last search because it was showing it. Where he at? So they ain't trying to show it now. Hold up. I gotta go back. Hitler Disney comparison. Show me a picture. Is this Walt Disney? I mean, that could be him when he get older, like right? Maybe I'll see. Yeah, it could be. I ain't gonna lie. This probably is him. Because when we get older, we do look different, but it just be like, nah. See, that's what I thought Walt Disney really looked like. I thought that's what he looked like more than uh than that last picture. Where the hell it go? But then again, they do remember, man, all this shit ain't nothing new under the sun. All this plastic surgery, all this shit, like ain't none of this shit new under the sun. They do look alike, but they stretching it a little bit. But oh, maybe it could have been his son. This might be his fucking son or something. Like something ain't right, man. Or brother or something. But they said it's the same person playing that part. But all right, let's go back to the search. Maybe I could find the YouTube. Uh the ugly truth about Disney. Yeah. Probably gonna be on YouTube. Well, those images was saying it though. Look, what. I mean, this Walt Disney right here, this could be like I said, plastic surgery. You get older, maybe. Like this could be. All right, let's see if we can find a YouTube video. YouTube. They say, will Walt Disney and Adolf Hitler the same person? Okay, can a commercial? Oh no, no commercial. Nice. Or who video is this? Wow. The illusion. Find his shit. I'm about to subscribe. He probably got some shit. Let me just subscribe. See this one, the conspiracy theory stretchies, but like I said, but like they about the same age though. So if he never died and he just went over to America and just started Disney, this ain't the exact same. They just say if they was like if this was like maybe him 10 years younger or something, I could say, yeah, that's probably him. He aged a little bit. We age, we do look different, but we still, it's you, but I don't know. Well, shit, like I said, man, they might have had a lot of this Hollywood special effects, makeup, fake faces. Like you never know what was going on, man. All right, what about this one? All right, so this don't look so similar. Well, I guess like if you change the hair, you slick his hair the other way, maybe give him that iconic stash. uh, so all right, let's get off of this. This is going too much into conspiracy. It's going too far. I was going too far. All right, let's get my camera back. I don't even be knowing my camera went down. I'm into it. I'm in the zone right now. All right, let's go. All right, we got another still. How did the Moors become the bad guys when the papal bulls were issued against Saracens, Moors, and pagans, Jews and Hebrews? They said the Moors and the Jews, the real Jews and the Hebrews, started united. So our people have to blame the black Christians and black Catholics that were Confederate against the Moors and the Hebrews with the conquest of Granada land, Israel, aka the Promised Land. So that's what Israel they was calling it, Granada. Yo, that's deep because all my research point to the like a lot of this time of era, it was Black Europe, and a lot of my research point that like, bro, Black Europe exiled Black Europe. Like it's weird, but they say the Moors, some of them was traitors. That's why what happened. Like, and it's seeming looking like this what happened. They traded, they became traitors, they converted to Christianity, and they start chasing out the rest of the Moors and the people that was the Black Moors and the Jacobites, the real actual Hebrews, right? My thing is, was Cromwell white? If you know, you know. Cromwell was probably like a general. He was receiving orders to like exile the black nobility or basically. But as you see, a lot of research saying that it made me think, damn, Cromwell might have been black. So I'm confused. Maybe it's a lot more to the story. Maybe because a lot seem like the story is the way it's starting to seem now that it was white people coming in, like Caucasians was coming in these areas, and we was all united. So it wasn't like all like no side was hating nobody, but they were more indentured servants or like you let us live here, you let us move to y'all nation, we serve y'all, we get a pay. So when they exiled the Jacobites and the Blackamoors, they went to West Africa. And when they tried to hide in West Africa, then the kings of Africa turned on them too. And so I guess that's when they had to just flee to America. At this time, my research is pointing that they came with the indentured servants, Slavs too, like maybe like the good ones, good white people they was cool with. Like I said, we was together. And I believe that's when they came over, and that's when around the time where you start getting the colonies, the 13 colonies and everything like that, coming up from the Caribbeans and Jamaica and everything up into East Coast United States, which is already a built empire. Like at this time around like the 1492 and all them dates they throw around, I believe all them buildings, Tartarian buildings was there already. Like it wasn't like they came there around 1492 and they start building up these cities and stuff. Like they was already there. So y'all kind of get my point. So, but something's confusing. Like they're saying, so it's like the papal bulls were issued. I'm gonna read it again. How did the Moors become the bad guys when the papal bulls were issued against Saracens, Moors, and Jews, Hebrews? So our people have to blame the black Christians and black Catholics that were Confederate against the Moors and the Hebrews with the conquest of Granada land, Israel, aka the Promised Land. And the America's King James was just a continuation of the deal that the Moors had made with his first cousin, Queen Elizabeth. It's just so much in here to unpack. Like I gotta like really research all this. So people have to blame the black Christians and black Catholics that were Confederate against the Moors and the Hebrews with the conquest. That's weird. In fact, both the Moor and Hebrew flourished under King James of the Bible. Yes, the Moors, France, and Britain joined forces to defeat Spain, Rome. I guess the Roman bankers. So I guess Rome was kind of like a powerhouse at that time, like they say in the movies. They probably was going around because they owned the banks. They had all the money. They can fund anything. All right. All right, let's get off this. But god damn.
To Mustache Man, he wouldn't even let.
All right. All right, let's read this. Spain, Rome, England, and the rest of the world, Spain via Black Roman Catholic, Holy Roman Empire, Charles V, right? Took the Americas in the name of Christ. After the Moors lost the Americas, the Moors worked out a deal with Queen Elizabeth I of England, aka the Dragon Queen, to take back the Americas from Spain. Emperor Charles V. So Charles V was against King James. Like, I need to really write all this stuff down. That's what I'm saying. Was they black at this time? Like some, so it looked like it caused a divide, and the black rulers of Europe at this time started chasing the Moors and the Hebrews out and stuff like that. And then so the Moors lost the Americas. The Moors worked out a deal with Queen Elizabeth of England, aka the Dragon Queen, to take back the Americas from Spain. The Moors must have offered her El Dorado and plenty of land because she agreed to help the Moors defeat Spain, which was her father's ally. Evidence of this deal with Britain can be seen in a flag called the Union Jack, which features the red Moroccan flag merged with the flag of Britain. All right, let's keep going.
Let people know who he was. So it's really interesting. And, all that footage that you guys saw of, Mustache Man, that was all fake. Like, that introduced the TV and the film.
That Big Dipper looking like the swastika looked crazy. All right, let's keep going.
So this is New York in 1903, the third stage of a global reset that started in 1776. Reset, commercialized, control. How is it that we're seeing electric trams the same time as horse and carriage? Looking at this footage, it seems like everybody looks confused to me. It's a turn of a new age, a new systematic age, a new world order. This was the time of manipulation through mind control and money. See if you can spot any children in this footage. I don't think you will. Everybody looks like robots, all dressed the same, all walking the same. This was the last stage of the abolishment of the old world. This was a point in time when we truly lost our old history and our old world knowledge. A lot of the generations from the late 1800s all came from clone babies, and they were shipped off on the orphan trains. It's another reason why you won't see other races in this footage. It's because different races got shipped to different parts of the world when we got reset. So this is Broadway in New York. A lot of the old world architecture has been demolished in New York to hide any evidence of the civilization that survived before the 1700s. But if you go there now, you can actually still see old world buildings, but they just claim that they were built in the late 1800s when they were built way before that. Can't you see that this was a time of change when they wanted everybody to be conformed and look the same and be controlled by money, law, and order? Everybody needs to wake up. Stay blessed. So this is New York in 1903, the third stage of a global reset.
All right, 1903, huh? It isn't even real. I mean, this could be AI.
In 1776. Reset, commercial.
Let's just keep going. I'll play that later. Now, man, let's go right into it. Since they brought it up, the Cabbage Patch Babies, the Clone Wars. I did the videos on the Clone Wars. You should check them out. Cabbage Patch Kids. Let's repopulation. Let's check it out.
Why? Because they didn't fucking... Man, fuck what they told you. You know why? Because they didn't fucking tell you about this. What do you know about orphans? I mean orphans from the 1800s. We all heard about all these orphans every fucking place, right? And these massive orphanages that were built to house these orphans, shipped on trains, called homeless, from cities like New York City, and gathered up and shipped out west. When I first learned about all these orphans and I started looking into it and found out about these orphan trains and dug a little bit deeper to the orphanages that they lived in, these massive Tartarian style buildings. And then I traced it all the way back to the incubator babies, Coney Island and the World Fairs, and how they were growing clones. When they reached a certain age, they set them outside and caught them as homeless, shoved them on trains and sent them out west, calling them orphans. This is how they got those incubator babies out west to repopulate. That's what's happening here. This was repopulation, and this is how they did it. If you just take a little while to suspend your disbelief, then you'll start to see as I see. You see, because I've spent so much time looking into this whole Tartarian subject. It's no longer a theory to me. It's not some far-fetched idea. I look at this and I say, there's a story here that we're not being told. I'm trying to tell you that I am a Tartarianist, and that gives me this whole different insight into what was going on back then. Look at the buildings that they were shoving these orphans into. And where did they put them? They just distributed them for repopulation of all these great cities that they found as they migrated west. And it's all the cities that we founded, we claimed as our own, putting them in these big mansions and calling them orphanages like they were purpose-built. You tell me that back then, pioneers were building these big orphanages for an influx of homeless kids from big cities? Look at this, even Norman Rockwell, the famous American painter, got in on the action with some painting of an orphan train. And just look at the orphan trains. There's all these kids. Where were their parents? Getting shipped out in the Sunday best to sit there and be taken. I bet the evil fucking kitty fiddlers had a fucking field day. Bastards. Don't it just make you mad?
Man. Well, that's foul because it's probably true. That's crazy.
Man, fuck what they told you. You know why?
Bro, what the fuck? Is this a merging of a picture? I'm about to say, boy, got two faces. It must be like a mirror of the picture. I'm about to say, like, they was creating the mutants.
Man, fuck what they told you. You know why? Because they didn't fucking tell you about this. What do you know about orphans?
Right, I think that comparison is...
The fuck? All right, so y'all get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not making this shit up. Like, motherfucker, like when I put shit out, motherfuckers be like, bro, you made that up out of your ass. I be like, bro, we've been learning about this shit for the last 5 years. Like, I think 2020 was the great awakening where motherfuckers sat down and actually got to search and research and Google and actually look down the rabbit hole. And so when that happened, y'all, they forced everyone to sit in the house. Motherfuckers started, oh shit, that's what may really happen. Let me look further. And the more you look, you be like, wow. Especially that Walt Disney mustache man shit. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's egregious. That's like next level playing in your face. Like, all right, let's click on another one.
I want to be like that guy, like, breaking news! You're of Atlantean, Olmec, Oscowalla, and Moore's descendant and lineage, bloodline, DNA.
Listen, I be trying to tell Black Americans this. Like, look, we not from Africa. We may be per se engineered in the lab of Africa back in like 1 million years ago with the Anunnaki or some shit, but we're really Atlanteans. Like, what? Get your Marvel comics. It's really exactly how it was. The Atlanteans and the Wakandas. Some believe Wakanda is in America, but I don't want to go deep into that right now. But anyway, remember the movie? And then the Wakandas and the Atlanteans came up from the water because the Wakandas was I guess starting to be cool with the colonizers, right? So the Atlanteans was like, no, we about to wipe them out, and we start fighting for fighting for the rest of the world. It's a deep story if you really look at it along the lines of what I'm talking about. Anyway, but I'm gonna shut up for the next 30 minutes.
DNA, Soul Tribe, things are about to get real.
You are on it.
Listen
the
to
groups
this.
listed: Choctaw, Cherokee, Yamasee, Creek, Muskogee, Seminole, Blackfoot, and especially the Washita Moors, are deeply tied to the Moorish and Atlantean bloodlines that were already present in Turtle Island, North America, long before Columbus or European settlers. These tribes carried a high spiritual and scientific knowledge from the ancient world, Mu, Atlantis, Kemet, and were later reclassified as Native American to hide their Moorish African identities. Now, to break it down clearly, Trail of Tears, 1830s, the Indian Removal Act under Andrew Jackson forced these tribes, especially the 5 civilized tribes, Choctaw, Cherokee, Creek, Seminole, Chickasaw, to walk from their original homelands.
I keep coming back to Trail of Tears. I need to really go deep on that. What the fuck really happened? Like, basically just made the indigenous people of America, the Atlanteans, us, Black Americans, vacate their places, them cities that was built, and get the fuck out of there. That's fucked up. The shit that stayed out to me is Quetzalcoatl. Remember the Atlanteans, Gabo said Quetzalcoatl, and it has ATL in the name. Like, that shit fucks me up.
Southeast U.S. to Indian Territory, what is now Oklahoma.
ATL, Atlantis, ATL.
Oklahoma. After arriving, these tribes who had Moorish bloodlines began to rebuild, establishing very prosperous towns and cities, including Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Black Wall Street bombing, 1921. The descendants of these displaced native Moorish tribes, along with freedmen and other Moors, had become so successful that the U.S. government and local whites attacked.
I want to be like that guy, like, breaking news! You're of Atlantean, Olmec, Osceola, and Moors descendant and lineage, bloodline, DNA, Soul Tribe. Things are about to get real.
You are on it.
Listen to this.
Now, I mean, listen to this. All right, I give y'all one more, and then I get off this, man. I said enough, man. But this is a deep theory right here that the Star Wars movies is about Tartarian Empire. Like, if you could just switch the Empire and all that with this, and it made me be on some shit like, bro, I want to start dressing like, yo, the Jedi garb, like the Jedi, some boots. You got the Glock as a lightsaber, like, oh, all right. But yo, I'll be looking at that fashion like, yo, that should be kind of fly though. Like, I'm just keeping 100. All right, let's look at this.
It actually is. It certainly looks a lot like the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, but even more like the Arch della Pace in Milan, with its horses on top and the lovely statues and its extra decor. It all looks very old world, very Tartarian, doesn't it? And that's going to bring us to Princess Amidala, who's modelled after Queen Jenipeng, the last queen of Mongolia.
We've lost all communications.
Oh, we're perhaps being told the story of how the old world that was quite advanced maybe had some challenges and fell.
And will not condone a course of action that will lead us to war.
Was that the same as the strong stance from the last Mongolian queen?
I will not defer. I've come before you to resolve this attack on our sovereignty now.
Okay, wow, so she fought for sovereignty.
I'm not afraid to die.
What about Padme? She seems to be on top of things.
So she could look after herself and her people on the political stage.
Call this a diplomatic solution?
No, I call it aggressive negotiations.
And when you look at Mongolian Russian history, that might very well be the reality for what happened there.
Have you ever considered that we may be on the wrong side?
Yep, but the winners write history, so maybe we wouldn't know.
What if the democracy we thought we were serving no longer exists?
Sounds about right.
And the republic has become the very evil we've been fighting to destroy.
That hits home in our current political environment, doesn't it? Anyway, let's check out these buildings in her home. Look at those copper domes and roofs and how big those buildings are. Kind of.
Them buildings they just show, they look just like Russia and Iran, the Iranian buildings, them Jones always looked crazy to me.
Reminds you of the old world, doesn't it? It reminds you of stuff like this absolute magnificence. And moving on from the Tartarian Star Wars architecture, we'll just finish with comparing Princess Leia and Queen Jennifer back to the Lady of Elche, and just ask the question on whether or not there's some extra technology here. It's another uncanny similarity. And finally, I just want to say, I recognise the sovereignty of Queen Jennifer. You'll never guess where this old world architecture actually is. It certainly looks a lot like the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. It certainly looks a lot like the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, but even more like the Arch dell'Apache in Milan, with its horses on top and the lovely statues and its extra decor. It all looks very old world, very Tartarian, doesn't it? And that's going to bring us to Princess Amidala, who's modelled after Queen Jeniping, the last queen of Mongolia.
We've lost all communication.
Oh, we have been told the story of how the old world